I was sitting next to Lomas, and you guys said your piece quickly, so we kind of knew what you guys were talking about. And I was like, I didn't see anything wrong with it. And I leaned to Lomas, and I was like, Lomas, am I wrong for thinking this isn't a big deal? And Lomas was like, no. All I see is a guy that put himself out there and is being treated just like everybody else who plays in the National Football League. If anything, the guy's a bad artist. He did capture him as well as he could. But I didn't have an issue with it. I know where it comes from. I mean, they're mocking him, yeah, but I mean, they mock Tim Tebow all the time. They mock all of us on this show. I've seen it. So as far as the color of his skin and you know what history that has, I don't think it even came into play for me with this particular cartoon based on Cam Newton.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of the Charlotte Observer. To me, what more can this man do? What more does he have to do? He's taken a city that's been irrelevant since the Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup in '06. I mean, who they got? The Bobcats. They had no one to talk about. They bring him in. Jerry Richardson, the owner, asked him not to get tattoos, not to do this to yourself. He did all that. He set rookie records. You know, he led this team from, what, 1 win the year before to 6 wins? I mean, the guy's doing everything he can. For me, it's foul on the Observer because, to me, they're looking for things. They're digging things. Now, granted, okay, not that when you're down. I understand that. But you look at everything else this man has done for this city since he's been there. Young guy, and what he's going to do for the city. He's basically put Charlotte on the map. For them to take this approach, I don't like it. I think that's foul. I didn't see the racial aspect of it. Like Christian said, I didn't have a problem from it from that standpoint. I got a problem from it from the standpoint of what more do you want him to do? What else does he need to do? He's done everything the owners asked. He's done everything they put a whole organization on his shoulders to carry.
Okay,
and so
let's get this straight. You're saying it's unfair, but it's not racial.
I'm saying, right? How I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of on the football field. I didn't see it, and I'm just being completely honest. I didn't see the racial standpoint of it.
Let me say this. Number one, I respect both of y'all, and I'm open to interpretation here. You may be right. You may be right. I'm not sitting up here definitively saying that I'm right. I'm giving you my initial reaction to it all. There are a multitude of black athletes that have been mocked in cartoons. I've never sat up here and said that I was uncomfortable with that. I understand, you know, its premise. I understand where it comes from. You know, if you're getting on a particular athlete, whether it be Tim Tebow, whether it be Darrelle Revis, whether it be Antonio Cromartie, or whatever the case may be, there are people that have been mocked on numerous occasions. I've never said anything about it. There's a reason I'm saying something about this particular subject, however, and that is what I would ask you guys to pay attention to. When I read what was said about Cam Newton come in, I'm going to reiterate it again. You never met the dude. You acknowledged after the fact, after you took heat, that you never met the dude. But before then, you wrote it as if you could provide some kind of first-hand account to this dude, calling him very disingenuous, calling his smile fake, just a litany of things where you're excoriating him and his character without even having met him. You've got that going on. You've got the Jerry Richardson angle going on. You've got the problems that he had at Auburn that obviously was brought up. You've got Warren Moon talking about the blatant racism. What I would ask both of you to understand from my vantage point is that this does not come out of thin air. And if you're the Charlotte Observer, a publication, and obviously I will repeat again, speaking to the sports editor, this had nothing to do with the sports department. This is the editorial department with the cartoons. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that if you have the Charlotte Observer, the local paper of record in town, and pretty much a damn good newspaper, okay? You're the paper of record in town, and Cam Newton is the resident star. And he's fresh off of doing everything that you said. And just 3 games in, you decide to go this route. I'm saying to me the discomfort comes from the quickness with which you did it, the willingness to do it so quickly, and understanding some of the connotations that have been attached to him before he, quote unquote, had these football problems. The fact that you show absolutely no sensitivity to that whatsoever leads me to sit there and be a bit uncomfortable, because now I'm questioning what your motive was and what your intent was in doing it.
Do you
That's
think
all
he
I'm saying.
kind of gave him a great opportunity by?
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I don't disagree with that.
He was like waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, but he would give. But what I'm saying, I guess what I'm asking you to understand, Christian, is that if you were in their position, you could say the same thing. He gave you the opportunity, but I suspect you would have been more sensitive than that. I suspect you would have been more sensitive. That's where I'm going. I'm saying to you that even though you may be right, I'm questioning the level of sensitivity that was exercised here, or therefore the absence of it. Why was there such a quick absence of it? It begs that question. Why so quick to do it? Because I think you would have said, wait a minute, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with doing this.
Before I speak again, I want to hear Cindy's opinion on
Sure.
this issue.
Well, I was sitting next to Christian and Lomas in the meeting this morning, and you guys were like, I don't see it. And I thought it was from the sports page. I thought it was a cartoon depicting a mocking of him for doing the Superman thing in a losing game. When I found out that it was from the editorial page, my father is black, my mother is white, and I immediately went to, wait a minute, that's not quite right.
Interesting.
You know what? I guess I'm insensitive.
No, you're not.
I don't know.
you're not.
I'm looking at it black. I'm looking at it from a black and white standpoint. You know, I am.
You addressed your...
I mean, listen. Listen. We're talking race. I mean, I'm multiracial. I mean, so I can assault everybody and get away with it. You know, so that's the benefit I have. Okay.
But you have some African American...
Yeah, I do have some African American. You know, but I wasn't raised like in that culture. You know, I had a taste of it, but it wasn't like 100% of everything I had. So when I look at something like that, I look at it from an athlete, okay? I look at it as like, when I remember when Cam did that, I was watching the game, I was like, oh gosh, really? You went there, you're down, and you're gonna get mocked by your teammates, whether they say it to your face or not. Because they're not going to be happy with it. You don't go out there and prance around and freelance like you're a solo artist, because you're not a solo artist. So I don't know if does he deserve it? Yeah, he does deserve it. And, you know, he's the quarterback of a team in a city, and I played for Carolina, so I know what it's like there. They need somebody there. He's the guy. So if he's going to put himself out there, just like a lot of these young quarterbacks do, then he needs to be willing to take the good with the bad.
Well, Cam Newton's not the one complaining. He didn't say anything about it.
Well,
I am.
True.
And so,
true. I should point to you. Then you need to take the good with the bad.
I'm simply saying, again, I'm just going to close it with this because I want to hear what my man Skip has to say. I am saying, I did not make this statement in a vacuum. I brought up Jerry Richardson. I brought up Warren Moon. I brought up the Pro Football Weekly. I brought up things leading up to this. I'm saying to you that there are people, I believe it to be you and others, who would have paused and said, there's something uncomfortable about this. I'm not accusing somebody of racism. I'm telling you that as a black man, when I saw that, my initial reaction was, what is this? Why is it like, I mean, so quick.
You're conditioned just to question it.
No, I'm not conditioned to question, because there's plenty of times I've come up here, and there's a lot of times where a lot of black people, a lot of black folks in the black community, you know, did feel something was racial, and I said, no, it's not.
Have been,
I've done that many times. But with this, because of the Bible Belt, because of Richardson, because of everything that I pointed out, I'm like, whoa. You know, I honestly said to myself, there's something that I don't like about this. It makes me uncomfortable because it's only 3 games in. They're real quick to go to this. I wonder why.
Think prisoner of the moment, you think? With the Superman doing that, you think it might be a prisoner
Well, Skip,
of the
what I want to
moment
hear is
type
what
of
you have
thing?
to say based on everything that you've heard.
As the token white person in this
How's it feel to be the minority?
I stand by what I told you after your opening remarks in our previous segment. I cringed when I saw the editorial page cartoon, but I knew right away it was what you call an op-ed cartoon, opinion/editorial page, non-sports page. I cringed, and I told Stephen A why. But now I'm going to ask my friend Stephen A question. I'll give you my answer before I ask you, but if this had been a white quarterback, first pick in the draft, who had behaved exactly the way Cam has behaved and did a Superman routine and sat occasionally with the towel overhead in the fourth quarter.
It was Andrew Luck.
Okay, well, let's just say he behaved exactly the same way. And let's say that the white quarterback's record through 3 games of his second season was 7-12.
Right.
Would the editorial page cartoonist have leaped to satirize the white quarterback as quickly as he did the black quarterback? This is my gut feeling. Just gut, and I don't know, because you kept saying, I don't know what to read in. My gut feeling is a no on that one in that city, but that's just me.
I'll put it you, all right. What if it was a white quarterback and they put it in blackface? Would that have happened? It would not have happened.
No, of course.
It would not have happened. Of course it would not have happened.
Someone just turned
So why would, exactly. But that's what they did with Cam Newton. That's not a black person in that cartoon photo.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think he's a bad artist.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's why you went into such sensitive territory, because if you attempt to
The
color
visual.
it's going to
visual.
come across wrong if you try to color it in. It
visual.
might look wrong. Like,
The
what are you
visual.
doing? Yeah.
The visual.
It's a bad look.
I feel you on that one, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting stuff, fellas. Really appreciate
try.
it. Bottom line, Cam Newton is only 2 up and 10 down career against teams with winning percentages, and he's taken on the undefeated Falcons.
And let me say to everybody up here, I appreciate being, educated. I mean, I'm not saying in any way that I'm definitively right. I'm just expressing openly what I felt. I could be wrong, and I don't mind being corrected.
So
That's
could
what
I.
we do here.
I just like that we have the minority representative.
I'm waiting for the minority dance.
I know. That's okay. We're talking about the lockout finally ending. We're in week 4, and we will have the regular referees in place. Did anything good come out of the fact that we had to deal with the replacement refs for 3 weeks? We'll debate that next.
Let me say one.
You ain't got nothing to do but nothing to say. Me, I'm on my way. Ready for success or failure.